What's going on, guys? It's your boy Luke here for another Prize Picks preview. We're going to be going over our top 4 NBA props for tonight's slate. Obviously a little bit earlier on in the day, so the board's not complete. There's plenty of injury news that's going to drop. Some great spots later on, but these 4 props I certainly have my eye on. A little flex pay ticket on them as well, and something I'll be sprinkling in with some of the better props that open up later on. Of course, if you guys haven't seen me here on the channel before, I'm Luke. I'm a content creator here on YouTube. The link to my channel will be in the description, but I cover golf, football, the NBA, MMA, all from a fantasy perspective and all with a data-driven approach. I'm a numbers guy, was an engineer by trade before getting into this industry, and I use statistical modeling to pretty much take on all of those sports. MMA, the only one where stat modeling isn't quite as big a part of at least my process. But all the other sports, very much an analytics type of guy, especially here for the NBA. I've never played NBA myself, just something that I've watched on TV, and frankly, makes me a little bit more objective about it. I'm much less opinionated than a lot of the other people out there. Just take a look at it from a pure numbers perspective, and I've seen quite a bit of success because of that. So with that being said, let's hop right into it. First off with a review of last time's picks. For the review over there on Tuesday, ended up only going 2 for 4. One of them was a heartbreaker, ended up missing the Jimmy Butler PRA by just the hook. Of course, Chris Paul didn't really come close to the 10 assist prop. It's going to happen from time to time. I mean, the guy had been on an absolute tear, so an outlier in the opposite direction. Unfortunately, he was due for one at some point, and we ended up getting stung by it. But our 2 props that came through, Chris Middleton over 20.5 real points, ended up being a little bit of a sweat there. Ended up getting to 21 right there at the end of the game. But hey, an over's an over. And of course, the other prop we hit was the Bam over 9 rebounds. That was also a relatively easy win for us. I believe he ended up with 14 or 15 rebounds. Honestly, 2 for 4, not what I'm looking for, right? When we get to 3 for 4, we're at least getting some guaranteed money back. And of course, 4 for 4 is where all of the money is at. Yesterday for golf, ended up going 4 for 4. I do have some of my golf prize picks content on my channel as well. So if you're looking for that type of stuff, make sure you check it out as well. But yeah, I love mixing golf and football props, golf and NBA props. And I'm not afraid to go ahead and do so. I have a few cards out there for that too. So 2 for 4, looking to go 4 for 4 for today. And let's go ahead and hop into today's picks. Alright guys, on the screen you can see the prop board for today, and I'll remind you, if you haven't already signed up on Prize Picks, make sure you use code Gundacker when you're first signing up to get a 100% deposit bonus. It's the best deal that you can get on the website. If you put in $100, you're going to get $100 back. That's the max amount right there. So make sure you guys go ahead and take advantage of that. At the top of the prop board, let's start with Cade Cunningham's PRA. They have him at 28.5 right now, and with a great matchup against the Orlando Magic coming up, I expect this to be something to attack the over on. So if we take a look at some of his numbers of late, you can see he had 50 PRA the last game, 31, 36, a couple duds against some, Sacramento Kings, no excuses there. But against the Warriors, we can give him at least a little bit of a pass. So if he's going to be on the over 3 of the last 4 games, be in a much softer matchup than something like that Warriors team, I have him comfortably on the over. Projected for closer to 31 PRA, which gives us a 2.5 stat gap right there, which isn't massive, but it's at least enough to attack in the prop market. So something that, again, I have a flex play on these 4 plays, but I will be looking to mix in a little bit later on if it stays at that number. Next up, we're going to have Jason Tatum. I'm going to have the over on that and his matchup against this Atlanta Hawks team. If we take a look at his box scores, it's also been somebody comfortably hitting the over, particularly in some of these pace-up matchups. And even though Boston, a stout defensive team, doesn't tend to run with a ton of pace, unless the other team is really pushing them to that kind of pace. Atlanta, though, they do love to check up shots, right? They're not a team that's as fast as the Sacramento Kings, the LA Lakers, that type of thing. But at the same time, it is a pace-up spot for the Boston Celtics. And as a result, I do expect them to hit the over here a little bit more than not. I mean, you can see over the last 5 games, comfortably hitting it. I mean, 66, 46, 44. This game right here, the 21, right, that's a little bit of an outlier. He only missed it by the hook down here. Relatively safe play, something that I already have the play on, and something I will be actively looking to try and fit in later on as well. Trae Young here at 38.5 on the other side of that game, also willing to get a little bit of exposure here. You can see over the last few games, hasn't quite been himself, hitting it the under by the hook here on the last 2 days. Also had a 30-point performance. I think that's why we've seen the number come down, because he was close to 40 and a half just a week ago, right? And people were trying to smash the overs on it. And I know it's a little bit of a pace down spot, but at the same time, Trae Young, if he has a shot falling, if he's facilitating that offense like he's used to doing, it's not a problem for him to get over 38.5. I mean, a week ago, we would have been all over this line. And as a result, taking a look at his season-long baseline, he's averaging just about 40 PRA. So again, it's not a massive gap, just a 1.5 point difference right there, but enough to at least tack in the market, right? We were looking for these positive EV scenarios, and that is yet another one. And finally, though, perhaps my favorite prop for tonight is going to be Demar Derozen over 35.5 PRA against the San Antonio Spurs, which is one of the best matchups of the day. The Spurs run with a ton of pace. They can be a relatively stout defensive unit, but DeMar DeRozan's going to get his points, right? He's a shot creator, doesn't really need to be going against a very lackluster defense to put up huge numbers. You can see over the last 5 games is averaging 40 PRA, right? That's 4.5 higher than what he's got here for today. The only stinker was back there against Memphis where he put up 29, but of late has been on absolute fire. So I'm going to be looking to ride that form. It was just announced to be an all-star starter, so perhaps has a little bit more energy under his belt there. And with all 4 of these picks, I definitely more comfortable using them in a flex play. Again, particularly the Cade Cunningham and the Trae Young plays, not locks, right? 1.5, 2-point margins with those players. The Jason Tatum and the DeMar DeRozan props feel a little bit better about, right? So later on, those are probably going to be my cornerstones for what I'm trying to build around. Like the Cade Cunningham and Trae Young lock, still like them as well. All I've got here for the Prize Picks preview. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments before you get out of here what your favorite prop for today is. It doesn't have to be something from the video. It can be something completely off my radar. It could be in a variety of sports either, but let me know what your favorite Prize Picks lock of the day is. Of course, before you get out of here, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That way you don't miss any of this Prize Picks content as it comes out in the future. Of course, Gundacker going to have his Prize Picks live stream this afternoon. That will be at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. for a regular DFS live stream. If you guys are playing DraftKings FanDuel tonight, make sure to stop by for that. If you guys haven't already checked out my personal YouTube channel, again, that is linked in the description. That is Gsluke DFS. I cover football, golf, MMA, a variety of different sports on there. So make sure to check that out if you're into that type of thing. Good luck tonight with your prop hunting, guys, and let's get this cash.